When I was little, I remember my mom saying how she wished she could certify who would go teach her format. My mother had thousands of students, but she always felt that they didn't stick around long enough. She wanted them to study longer. She wanted them to get more knowledge and information. And this was a time where dancers were studying 6 months, maximum maybe 2 years, and running off and teaching her format. And my mother had so much more to give. She continues to create all the time. So this really stuck into my head, the concept of certifying people. I loved the idea. I thought it was brilliant. I think my mom made the statement more out of frustration. But of course, I kept it in a file cabinet in my head, and I was like, okay, well, we're going to do that someday. So as I started to develop my program, I decided to create the first certification program in belly dance based on the Suhaila Salimpour format. Nobody had ever done anything like this before, and it was very ambitious. I felt that the martial arts system was a really beautiful sentiment. You have, of course, the end result is a black belt, but you have these movements and philosophy and choreographies that you learn and that you have to learn in order to then test for your yellow belt and then test for your orange belt or whatever color was next. I thought this was beautiful because I really felt that in belly dance, you go into these workshops or classes, and if somebody says to you, oh, I've been dancing for 6 months or 6 years, it really didn't mean anything because our dance form does not have a standard and a code and a language that we all follow. Belly dance is so beautiful, but it's really very new in its concepts of training, and it's very new in its evolution. My mother was the first person to ever create a format in belly dance. She was the first person to put names to steps and break them down and to teach a pathway of movements from beginning to end. The Salimpour formats, both Jamila and Suhaila, are really a whole holistic approach to belly dance. The foundation begins with posture. You worry about your safety and what muscles you're using to execute your movements. And by the time you're in level 4, you're choreographing, you're improvising, and you're actually truly understanding and utilizing concepts of fusion. After years of evolving and developing the Suhaila certification program, we launched the Jamila Salimpour certification program because we had the infrastructure, the knowledge, the staff, and the approach that really was about taking a student through this program. It's not about learning how to dance like me or my mom or somebody else, some of our famous students. It's about teaching the student to be the best that they can be and guiding them through their artistic path with the Salimpour format as a strong foundation. In the Salimpour school, it's very important for us that you actually stay connected. So even after you certify, we have CECs that are required to keep up your training. The school is constantly growing, we're constantly evolving and developing, and it's really important that you are getting the current information, you're updating your book of knowledge, and the CECs keep you connected to the school, keep you growing, keep you learning, evolving. It's not just about coming and taking a workshop and then you leave with a piece of paper that says you attended. No, you actually take a test, written and practical, and you keep up your training. Level 1 is your intro. It's learning the basic posturing and what muscles you're using for each of the movements. It's really just getting to know each other. Level 2 is where it begins. You really work on developing your strength, your stamina, your flexibility. Level 3, you begin emotional preparation, cultural context. You learn how to layer. You're learning how to create basic phrases. In level 4, you're pulling it all together. So you're now developing your choreography skills. You're developing and executing your musicality, learning how to improvise, learning how to create different shows based on the platform in which you're performing. And in level 5, that is the technique of learning how to teach the Salimpour format. My mother and I both enjoyed dancing to live Arabic music. That was definitely the highlight for us. I know that it's a new generation and it's actually very difficult to find really good live Arabic music nowadays. And my heart breaks actually for my students that have to use CDs in professional performances. But it is the way the art form is going, and we try in the school to bring in wonderful live Arabic bands for dancers to get used to even just hearing the live Arabic music and the phrases and the changes. And when you get into level 3 and level 4, you're lucky enough to be able to work with these musicians and have that kind of experience. But if you're in level 1, you can start your journey into falling in love with Arabic music. And even if you're a fusion artist, you have even more of a responsibility to understand and learn and listen and get to know Arabic songs, because then you want to know what you're choosing not to use or what you're choosing to fuse from. So please go on the website. We've created a music list for you. It's top songs every belly dancer should know, and start listening and just evolving your relationship and your ear to Arabic music. And some of these classics are, one song is like an hour long. So, if you have a commute, or if you're cleaning your house, or if you're just laying around, put on one of these songs from the song list and get to know Arabic music. It will be something that you will continue to do throughout your whole learning process of both formats in the Salimpour school. And the more you understand about Arabic music and you really learn to love and appreciate and respect the culture and the aspects of the culture that have created the love affair that you have with the dance form, then the stronger dancer you will become. So when you study the Salimpour format and you come into the Salimpour school, you are learning and joining a legacy. And we also take very seriously the responsibility to the culture. And you're learning not just about the culture, the legacy, and the movement, but you're learning about yourself and your artistic goals. But the Salimpour school, we take very seriously our educational values. It's a real school. We have high integrity when it comes to representing this culture and the Salimpour family. And it doesn't matter if you're just doing this for fun or if you want to be a professional. 90% of our student body are hobbyists, but they take themselves very seriously and they value the time that they want to put into this art form. And we train dancers that are hobbyists the same as we would train somebody who wants to become a professional. In the Salimpour school, it's the real deal.